You're about to take a deep dive into one of the biggest true crime cases in the universe, or at least on our part of the planet. From the Hidden Killers podcast and True Crime Today.
Diddy, Puff Daddy, Sean Combs. I mean, the guy's a hip-hop legend, right?
Yeah.
But today's deep dive, it isn't about hit records. No. Today we're talking about a bombshell accusation from former rapper Shyne.
Wow.
And it all goes back to that 1999 nightclub shooting, you know, the one with J-Lo. We're going deep. Music, loyalty, and some serious alleged betrayal.
And it's a story that's really captivated the public for, over 2 decades now? Partly because everyone involved, they're huge names. And this thing, it really had a ripple effect on their careers.
Okay, so for those who maybe need a little refresher, maybe weren't even born yet, let's set the stage right.
Yeah.
What actually went down back in 99?
All right, so picture this. December 1999, New York City nightclub, packed house. Suddenly, shots ring out. 3 people injured. Chaos. And right there, in the middle of it all, Diddy, his then-girlfriend, Jennifer Lopez, and this young, up-and-coming rapper signed to Bad Boy Records. His name, Shyne.
And Shyne, he ends up taking the fall for this whole thing.
He does. Diddy and J-Lo. Charges get dropped. But Shyne, convicted, spends almost a decade behind bars.
Which makes this whole thing even crazier, right? Because after years of, relative silence, Shyne drops this bombshell accusation, right?
Yeah.
Directly claiming Diddy orchestrated his downfall. Whoa, where did that come from?
Right. Talk about a shift. I mean, for years, Shyne was all about forgiveness, moving on, focusing on his life, his political career in Belize, even performed with Diddy again at one point.
Didn't they?
Yeah. So the million-dollar question is, why now? Why come forward after all this time?
Right. It's not like some tiny detail just popped up. The articles you sent, they quote Shyne directly, saying Diddy destroyed his life, that he was urging witnesses to turn against him, save his own skin.
Right.
That's not just, he did me wrong. That's next level.
It makes you wonder about the timing, for sure, especially with everything going on with Diddy legally.
Yeah.
Those recent indictments, the sex trafficking charges in particular.
Do you think there's a connection there? Shyne saw what was happening and thought, time to distance myself from this whole mess.
It's definitely possible. And, this isn't just Shyne quietly changing his tune. He's coming out swinging here.
Yeah.
Using some incredibly strong language. Destroyed my life. I mean, that's not just a casual accusation,
No.
That speaks to some deep-seated resentment.
And the article, it highlights how he keeps saying Diddy was pretending to be his friend. This wasn't just business gone wrong.
Right.
This was personal for him.
Exactly.
How do you even come back from that?
If what Shyne is saying is true, this goes way beyond your typical music industry feud, This is someone he clearly saw as a mentor, a friend, and to have that person allegedly turn on you to save themselves, I mean, that's
Brutal.
It's incredibly damaging, personally, professionally. And then you add in the legal side of all this. We're talking about something that happened almost 25 years ago.
Yeah, I was just going to say.
I'm not a lawyer, but
Isn't it going to be tough to, to prove any of this after so much time has passed?
that's the million-dollar question. You're talking about, 25 years? The odds are stacked against him. Witnesses disappear, memories get foggy, evidence lost, or it's not admissible anymore.
So is there even a case here? Could Shyne realistically take legal action?
I mean, it's possible, but it'd be a steep uphill battle. He would need rock-solid evidence, something to back up these claims. And even then, who knows, right? The legal landscape is different than it was back then.
This whole thing, it feels bigger than just these two guys,
Oh, absolutely.
It's like this crash course in, the music industry's power dynamics.
It really throws a spotlight on those power imbalances that we see, especially between, these established figures like Diddy and then younger, less experienced artists.
Yeah, totally.
And it's a story, honestly, it's a story we've heard before, maybe not always so dramatically. Right. But the themes are all there. The pressure, the exploitation, the silence.
How many stories have we heard about musicians feeling trapped in bad contracts or pushed around? Or worse, it's like Shyne's case, it's extreme, but it shines a light on this systemic issue.
Exactly. And it forces us to confront a difficult truth.
What's that?
These things, they might be way more common than we want to believe. This pursuit of fame and fortune, it comes at a cost.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's the artists who pay the highest price.
And what about the impact on their legacies? I mean, this can't be good for Diddy's image.
Oh, it's a huge blow.
Especially with everything else hanging over his head.
Regardless of whether Shyne's accusations are proven true in a court of law, the court of public opinion, it's a whole other beast.
For sure.
It really makes you think about how we perceive success and how quickly it can unravel, when the curtain gets pulled back.
Okay, but what about Shyne? I mean, he built a whole new life for himself, right, in politics.
Yeah.
How's this going to impact him?
That's the big question, isn't it? He seemingly escaped the shadow of that night, reinvented himself in Belize, and now he's thrust right back into the spotlight, but this time he's the one in control.
He's calling the shots.
No more staying silent, no more playing nice. He is reclaiming his story, but it's a gamble. Will people see this as him being courageous for speaking out? Or will it tarnish his reputation? It'll be interesting to see how this plays out, especially over in Belize.
Yeah.
Will this help or hurt his political career?
It's a high-stakes move, for sure. This whole deep dive, it's been like peeling back these layers of a story that is so much more complicated than it first appears. Loyalty, ambition, and, maybe even a healthy dose of alleged betrayal.
It's a tale as old as time, but it's playing out on a very, very public stage.
Yeah.
That pressure cooker of the music industry. The stakes are high, egos are massive, and someone always seems to get burned.
It's almost like Shakespearean, when you think about it. You've got the ambition, the betrayal, this larger-than-life industry as the backdrop. It's not just a music story, it's a human story.
It really is, and it highlights something we often forget, like the human cost of fame. We see the glamour, the success, but cases like this, they remind us that there's this whole other side.
Yeah.
The power struggles, the broken trust, the potential for lasting damage.
And it really makes you wonder, how much do we, the public, really know? Like, do we ever get the full story?
It's easy to get caught up in the headlines, right? The gossip, the narrative that's being, carefully crafted and presented to us. But I think what Shyne's story really highlights is it's so important to hear multiple sides.
Right.
There's always more than meets the eye, especially in a world like the music industry, right? So image-driven, so complex.
It makes you really think twice about, like, the stories we tell, the stories we're sold.
It's a good reminder to question everything,
Yeah.
Don't just take things at face value. Look for those nuances, the contradictions, even just those whispers beneath the surface, like who benefits from a certain version of events? Who's being silenced?
Wow. Yeah, that's deep. This whole deep dive has really given me a lot to think about. It's like we started with a 90s hip-hop mystery.
Right.
And we ended up questioning, like, the nature of truth and power.
That's the beauty of a good deep dive, though. It's never just about the surface level facts, It's about uncovering those hidden connections, seeing the bigger picture, and hopefully you walk away, understanding the world around us just a little bit better.
Absolutely. Well, on that note, we'll leave you to ponder the many layers of this very complex story. And be sure to check out the articles we link. There's even more detail in there than we had time to unpack today. This is The Deep Dive. Signing off until next time. Keep asking questions, keep exploring, and keep diving deeper.
In a world where the darkest secrets lie just beneath the surface,
They said it was an accident, but the evidence says otherwise.
where hidden killers roam unnoticed in the shadows.
I think you would definitely be looking at a blend of toxic, very bad narcissistic personality traits, and they will be vengeful and possibly resort to violence.
Join Tony Bruschi as he uncovers the truth behind the most chilling cases.
They said it was an accident, but the evidence clearly says otherwise.
Each episode, we dig deep into the minds of those who commit the unthinkable.
To your point on narcissism, he thinks in his own mind how witty he is.
Yeah.
But he lost that jury. I was done with him in 2 minutes.
From unsolved mysteries to infamous crimes.
Geez, you've just talked about how you've taught yourself how to do everything under the sun. I bet you did a YouTube video, how to best kill somebody with a knife.
Hidden Killers with Tony Bruschi takes you where few dare to go.
How does someone with such a dark secret go unnoticed for so long?
With multiple new episodes every single day.
We're not just telling stories, we're seeking justice.
Listen now on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. Just search for Hidden Killers with Tony Bruschi.